Good morning, everyone. Welcome back into our show. Well, for next up, we are checking in with Mr. John David Berdahl for this week's edition of This Is How You Make It. What are we doing today, John?
So we're going to be working on decoupage.
Ooh.
Decoupage, which means cutting out.
All right. Okay.
Yes, and so we're going to be cutting out pieces of paper, perhaps some tissue too. I brought some tissue if anyone has an issue with that. Too bad.
That's a lot of tissue paper.
Yeah, exactly. So I went to Dollar Tree, got a bunch of this in Dilworth. Hi, Dilworth Dollar Tree. I said I'd say hello. Okay. And then I went to a thrift store, Dakota Boys Ranch in Dilworth, and I got some of these just books. They were so inexpensive. You know, and so I just taught a class for this for Moorhead Community Education. It went so well. It was so much fun. I do apologize I didn't share any pictures. That's on me. Whoops. So anyway, just to prove it.
All right. All right.
And so, yeah, we can take pages out of these. And then if you're making something that's a little more personal, so maybe it'd be something like a journal that you've written, you know, or articles pertaining to your family, you know, or maybe books that were written about your family or something like that, or photographs too. You know, basically you can just decoupage on kind of anything as long as the Mod Podge, and that's what I purchased right there, and this is the glossy Mod Podge.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what's in these little cups here.
Yep.
Okay. And so we got these sponges. You can brush it on too, but I found the sponge really just applies a whole bunch, and you're going to need a whole bunch of Mod Podge. Okay. And it's basically just a glue that dries clear. Okay. Yep. And so yeah, you can think about take a moment and think about what you're supposed to do. I got so many items here. Let me move this. I know you were talking about the romance novel, right?
I was talking about reading it.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I might not want to cut that one up, but I did see some really cool sheet music in here.
Oh, here.
That's what I was looking at too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I found
Should
some of that.
we share this?
And I found some calligraphy paper, which just looked really, I know it's kind of, you can't exactly see it from where you're at home. I do apologize. Golly, I did it again.
That's all right. Anyway. Well, we have a few different materials to work with too. So I think Sophia's using a canvas, maybe.
Yep, I brought those.
I'm using this little wooden tray, almost.
And so you can, as long as the glue allows something to stick, go ahead and work on it. A lot of people do this with furniture too. Have you seen that? Like coffee tables, they'll decoupage coffee tables, they'll vases, you know, or vases, depending on what type of day you're having today.
Oh no, I dropped the sponge.
So what is our first step? So like I have this.
Let me get these gloves on. Okay, so you got that.
Smallish canvas.
Yep, and you know what you're going to be working with? So either tear out what you're going to be working with or cut it. I got you some scissors. So it depends on how, I don't know, precise you need it to be.
I'm tearing.
There you go.
I feel like this would be a great activity to do with the kiddos.
Certainly.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, or someone who is, you know, attempting to, or they do believe they're supposed to honor someone, or honor a memory, or remember something, or, you know.
So, do you...
Or just be really decorative, too.
Yeah. Put Mod Podge first or after?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, first.
First. Okay.
First.
So, you're dipping sponge in the Mod Podge.
Yep. And so I'll hold this up so you're dipping it in like that. I'm dipping it in. I put it in a corner, basically, kind of like that. I'll put on that much. There we go. And then, yeah, cover the surface.
A good amount to be generous?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely. And so I guess I'll work on this little box myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just apply some of it. And the sponge will hold some too, so I'll just kind of press it on there too.
And
good.
then,
okay, yep, you're putting it right on there.
Do you do a top layer as well, or no?
I'll take a piece that you had, and so I'll do that.
Oh, nice.
You know? And since it's kind of big, there we go, I'll tear a little bit there. There. Ooh, that tore a lot.
I'm smelling the smell of this.
Oh, yeah,
It's quite strong.
So once you got it on there, you know, in a way, yeah, there you go, yep, and then put some more on there. And generously, just put it on there.
So kind of like a seal.
Okay.
Yeah, basically it just seals it on there and it'll dry clear and glossy because this is the glossy Mod Podge.
We're
they
getting
also make
fancy.
matte Mod Podge, which is going to dry, there we go, a little more flat.
Okay, next I'm taking this weird old English looking text.
That's from the calligraphy paper that came with it.
I like
Help
it.
a person teach them how to calligraph, is it?
Calligraph?
I'm just making up words today. Fun fact, right? I was just talking about names of days of the week yesterday, okay? And so today is Woden's Day.
Woden's Day?
Yes, it was named for Odin. And he was called Woden, and it became Woden's Day, and then it became Wednesday.
Well, to this day, every time I have to spell Wednesday, I do say Wednesday, just to remember. Yes.
Tatum always has to remind me what day it is.
Oh,
That's
really?
true.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Sophia can't remember
Every
which
day.
day.
And maybe when I walk through the door, too, it's like, oh, it's Wednesday.
Yes, you're our reminder as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. So yeah, you put on a generous amount, and I've got some on here. Let me turn it that way. There we go. And so I'm just going to keep putting on, and make certain. Now the tissue, that's going to be a little more fragile, a little more delicate, so that may tear. You know, if you need it to be really smooth, so you can take your finger and kind of smooth it out. If you need it to be that way, but watch out, it may tear. You know, make certain to, like the cover of this magazine may not bend or go around corners, you know, as well. So think about that. Yes, the weight of the paper that you're working with. And I made certain to do that, like with this romance novel. It had sort of thinner.
Awesome.
Since you're going to read it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know the drill. We're going to keep working through commercial break, and we'll see you right after with some updates.